Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success, a digital media source for professional and entrepreneurial women. Did you know that we can be found on Google Play, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Sam's Broadcasting, AutoCast, and more? Women Who Rock with Success airs live each Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. We handpick professional women in many areas who can provide credible information in their field to build your business and lifestyle. To learn more about us, just visit our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com.
And good morning once again, and welcome to Women Who Rock with Success. This is our second segment of the day, and this is your show host, Ms. Diane Winbush. And so on our second segment, we're going to be talking about finances and how you can be able to apparently shape your portfolio. So in the studio today, we have Dr. Funding, and he is none other than Mr. Roosevelt Moore. So good morning and welcome to the platform.
How you doing? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, and so tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Well, Diane, I got out of the Marine Corps about 15 years ago, and retired, and I was, living the American dream. And so I had the house, the car, the job, and the family. And then all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, it went away. So I decided to start my own business, okay? And so like this book of Entrepreneur, you either borrow money from family and friends, or you go into your savings, and then you go to the bank. And I struck out on all those things. So when I went to the bank, they laughed so hard that I thought I should change my profession to a comedian because it was so funny. So and then I pretty much I had two other people working with me, and I ended up living in my car for a little bit. And while I was taking a little bird bath in the back of my Mercedes-Benz S550, my very expensive mobile home, I decided that that wasn't gonna happen again. And I just so happened to be parked behind a Goodwill. And that morning I went in to buy some clothes, and I ran into a Lance Corporal that I served with in the Marine Corps. He was in charge over there at the Career Center, and they were having a veterans program, and they were directing people into the finance industry. And he told me how to get funding, and I saw it. I thought it was lucrative. I can help other veterans and other small businesses, and that's how I got started. So now I manage $500 million in revenue that we can fund for other businesses.
Oh, wow. That is an impeccable story. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about 133 approved funding. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, 133 approved funding is the brainchild of mine that once I got into the funding, I started out in the mortgage brokering business, doing business notes and commercial financing. And then after a few years, once the bubble burst, we went into something a little more lucrative, which was real estate, helping people get their real estate back together and get their credit straight. So once that happened, so after over the years, to make a long story short, being that the basis of the business was a simple one-page application, 3 minutes to fill it out, and 3 to 5 days to get funding. That's where 133 came from, and you got approved within 3 to 5 days. So that's the name. So what we basically do is help small businesses. When the banks say no, we can pretty much usually help. You get funding, and it's not hard money. We do have a hard money division, but mostly soft money where you can get what you need. It's customized to make sure that you get the best funding that you qualify for. So we do everything from unsecured term loans, lines of credit, revolving lines of credit, and we, help people with their SBA, PPP, and any other government funding. We're helping people during COVID to get their businesses back on track, because we know that small businesses are the foundation of this nation and the economy. So our premise and our motto is to make sure businesses stay in business and we never leave a man behind. So not only do we do funding,
go ahead.
Not only do we do funding, we also educate businesses, because we know a lot of them don't. They come in and they just know they want to be in business. So with education and a credit university.
Absolutely, because now, with I guess some of the small business crisis that they're facing, and you're absolutely correct. Sometimes individuals will be in small business, but they do not have the continuity to be able to know how to stay on top of the platform that they have started. And so once the pandemic hit, a lot of people panicked, even though the government did issue out, funding for them, but it's not enough, according to a lot of professionals here in the South. It's not enough for them to be able to stay afloat and maintain. So this is wonderful. This is a wonderful program that you have to be able to also educate them, not just only supply funds and provide funds for them, but you're there to also educate them as to how to stay on top as well. That's wonderful. So why, in your perspective, are small businesses still struggling and closing? We know that some of it has to do with the pandemic. Sometimes individuals will do business, and so so for example, before we got into podcasting and media, we would go out and teach women with Lunch and Learns, and so with that, some of them did not know what it was to be able to. They didn't know about the SBA. Also, SCORE is out there to be able to help them with mentors and things like that. And so they were not aware of these tools and resources. Sometimes people just want to start an online business, but they don't have the credit knowledge of how to withstand all of these things. And so they begin to struggle with, their finances. They be able to struggle with how to be able to keep everything together and how to keep it organized, because they don't have financial support, neither do they have a financial, I can't think of the name, a CPA to be able to help them to maintain. So why are small businesses still continue to struggle even at closing as well?
That's a great question, Diane. And you're absolutely right. It's all based on knowledge, okay? Knowledge and awareness of what's available to them. Or how to stay in business. If we have three premises. If they went into business without the right foundation, usually when there's a problem, they will fail. Okay. If they went into business with the right foundation, and then the demand got so great that they couldn't keep up with it and couldn't get the financing, then they will fail. And then some of them, if they're doing good in business personally, then when they need something, like when the pandemic happened, then they go to the banks, and then the banks say no, and then they don't look other places. So it's all based on knowledge. And as a matter of fact, I'm writing a book on it. It's called Crush Your BS, which means crushes you to get the knowledge and have the responsibility and the understanding, knowledge of the business, responsibility of being able to take care of that business, understanding of how it all works, and the system to be successful. And the BS is business success. So crush your business success, and that tells entrepreneurs and people already in business how to maintain and where to go and the different resources that they need to stay in business. So primarily, let me give you an example. A young lady we funded 2 weeks ago. She had a pizzeria. It was, even though the pandemic happened, she was still doing good. But all of a sudden, the customer base dwindled. So she needed funding to keep the bit to expand a little bit and go social distancing and do delivery. But she went to the bank. They said no because she hadn't really did a lot. Her income went down. But she came to me. She said, Roosevelt, I want to do it. I want to get this funding, but I can't afford the interest. I said, well, basically, what would you do if you didn't get the funding? She said, well, within 2 weeks we'll close. I said, well, how much do you need? She told me how much she needed, and so we worked it out creatively. We have several sources that we worked out to put together so she can get the funding that she needed. But otherwise, within 2 weeks, she would have been closed and in debt. So because she would have had to pay back her suppliers and things of this nature. So, so it's just awareness of the resources of the funding that's available other than the banks.
Absolutely, and not in a negative gesture. Some of the small businesses that continue to suffer, or a lot of percentages are African Americans, and then also it's kind of difficult at sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes it can be difficult to be able to convey over to some small businesses you have to be willing to network. You have to, if someone is offering community or local networking platforms where you can be able to go to events, whether it's a small fee that they charge for the attendant or whether it's a free event, take the opportunity so you can be able to get the knowledge that you need, just like we just got through talking about. Get the knowledge that you need so you can be able to apply it to your business, because a lot of times individuals, even with the pizzeria, people have online closed businesses, they have online digital media businesses, but they don't know the dynamics of how to actually run the business on a financial. And so that's the reason why some African Americans, this is not to be negative and commenting on that, but some African Americans, they have went under as a wash. I'm serious. During this COVID-19 pandemic, they have went completely under simply because they did not have the portfolio to be able, the financial portfolio to be able to stand up, and so they overlook. Well, I don't have to. One of the ladies had told me, I went in there and I paid for this certificate, and I don't have to come down on that level. Of course you do, if you want the knowledge.
Correct. Right. I find that a lot of businesses, small businesses especially, when there's two things that they look at. And I say that if you're in business, you're thinking it's an investment when you go to these networking events. But if if it's just a hobby or something you just started, then it's a cost. So if you have costs, then you're really not in business. But if you have investments, if you're investing in that seminar and you're investing in that sign or things like that, oh my God, it costs so much. But what is that sign going to do for you? Is it going to give you visibility, which means more people are going to come to you and you're going to cover that cost and then get them profit? Or is it a cost that you think you can't handle, you can't manage, and it's not going to do anything for you? So it's a mindset. So I usually tell people that if your mind is not right, then you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to be successful. So you have to get the attitude right. So I find that there are three things that businesses that make us, that people get different. So if you have a business setup, you got the knowledge, and then you got use it. You're gonna fail if you don't have the knowledge of how to set up your business, but you will succeed if you do have that knowledge, because people see you as responsible. And then if you don't have the credit, the credit will kill a business every day. And we find that a lot of businesses come in, they don't have good credit. So that's why we got the credit university. But and they're afraid to do things because they think it's going to impact their credit. But you have to stick your foot out there and start walking in order to find out where the stubble are, where the holes are, so you can avoid them, and then you can keep going forward. And basically it's the attitude. So if you have the attitude that it costs too much, I can't do it, nobody's going to buy it, or I'm overwhelmed, then you will fail. So that's where we differ from other businesses, because we help the individual, to work on themselves and their business so they can be successful. So yeah, but knowledge is power if you got it. And we do a lot of work with internet businesses, because if you don't have that credit card or that credit to buy that bulk deal that's coming out today and today only, then you can lose thousands of dollars.
Okay, and so another question, you just said something that hit a key point that I would like to ask and things, and this can also be helpful and supportive for the audience, as to a lot of times individuals, they do not pay attention to the APR. And so take, for example, we were at a banking convention, SunTrust, and there were several other bankers that had flown in to the city of Memphis, Tennessee. And so the mayor had set that up for small business owners and what have you. But the people did not get some of them did not get the full understanding as to APR. So when you're borrowing loans or you're borrowing funding from, from corporations, businesses, and what have you, sometimes individuals, they get somewhat elated in a negative way as to when the payments come out, as to what they are having to return the payments for. And so if you would, could you share a little bit and touch a little bit on that as well?
Okay. So my basic premise, the way we look at it is, if the cost of the money is less than the benefit of the money, then their interest doesn't matter. So let's say, for example, if you're going to borrow $100,000, and let's say, just hypothetically, it's going to cost you $110,000 to pay it back, to get it, right? And that $100,000 and you're going to use it for something frivolous, and it's not going to make you any money. Then the cost of the money is more than the benefits of the money. But if you're going to borrow $100,000 and pay $110,000, but it's going to make you $500,000, then the interest and the cost of the money is less than the benefits. So then you take it. That's the basic way that I look at it. Because now, if you can't, with us, we don't loan money. We don't provide services to people who are not going to be able to handle it. Okay, so we're in the business of helping you get money and make money ourselves in return. Yet, if you can't afford it, then we use alternative ways to get you part of it or something to do it. But looking at the interest and the APR, okay, and the cost of the money is the important part. If it benefits your business to get it, then you get it, and you make that investment in your business. But if it doesn't, that's what you look at. You don't look at how much you got to pay every month. As long as you can afford it and it's going to double or triple your income or your business, that's what you're looking at, the benefits.
Okay.
Does
so
that answer your question?
That does. So does the 133 approved funding, does that provide like a credit counseling to the customers that you have or the clients that you have, be upfront before, because we want to know, because we don't want them coming back asking me questions. They need to make sure that they have all of the details here from you. So does that apply to them when they first come into your office, that you will sit down and make sure that, look, this is a good fit for us, for you and I, and because sometimes people can come in and they can bite off more than what they can chew. They sometimes individuals will conceal some information as to what they should be putting down on the application, and then later on, okay, I can't afford this. So is that something that you offer them, and then also do you offer them like a credit counseling type of session with them?
Right. Okay, so initially, within the first 24 hours, you'll know whether you qualify or not. Okay, if you don't put everything on the paper, it's going to come up. We do our due diligence for sure, because, like you said, we don't want you to get something that you can't afford. Okay, so right away whether we look at your credit report. It doesn't cost you the thing. It doesn't hit your credit. It's a soft pull on your credit, so we know up front, and then we can tell you. We can tell you, okay, look, you are overextended on this credit card, and if you get it down a little bit, then you can come back and you can get this. okay? Or your credit's great, but you've got issues with your bank, okay, that's showing up here, and you got to clear those up before you go forward. So you will not go forward unless everything's straight. And if you got credit problems, then we direct you to our credit university. If you got business issues, we direct you to our business services, okay, because we don't want you to start something that you can't handle. Okay, if you want $100,000, and you can get that, but not right now until you finish some things, but you can get 10. We have a gradual loan payment program where once you finish something, you can get more, and you can get more and more, and it's not going to kill you. We're not trying to just get your money, put money out there so you can get it, and you be irresponsible for it. That's where Crush comes in, because we want you to have the proper knowledge so you can be properly responsible and you can understand what you're getting into, and you can be successful. Okay. And so that's why, Did that answer the question?
Okay. It did. That is awesome. That is awesome because, and the reason why I brought that question up is because sometimes you see individuals, they're, in court, or you hear about them in court, or you'll see an article about individuals in court, and they'll say, well, the financial counselor, he never did explain it to me in the beginning, and then the financial counselor will go back and say, well, you didn't provide all the information on your application, so that's the reason why you were declined and you did not receive the loan or the services that we had to offer. So on our shows, we try to make sure that we try to ask all of the questions, and so the individual won't say, well, your broadcast or your show referred us to so and so, and then you didn't tell us all the ins and outs of the actual individual's business. And so we try to make sure we ask all the questions that need to be asked, so they will have all the information up front from our guests that appear on the show. So well stated, very well stated. So take us to some of the steps. You don't have to reveal all of them. Some of the steps that take, for instance, if a potential client will walk into your door and say, look, I have a business and it's been developed or established for the first 5 or 6 years, but I'm having some challenges and I need money to be able to sustain what it is that I sustain. Take us through a couple of steps, or the first 3 steps that you would do as to sitting down with a client and how they can be able to get ascertain definite or indefinite information in regards to a loan process or funding that you offer for 133.
Okay. That's a good question. So basically what we do, we treat you like you come into a doctor's office, okay? So you walk in, you come in and you fill out an application, okay? We just look for basic information, name, email, address, phone number. We don't even take your Social Security number right away. Basic information. You agree to do a soft pull on your credit, and there's a difference between a soft pull and a hard pull. Soft pull doesn't stay on your credit. We hit it. We work with Experian, so we have that certification where we can do a soft pull on your credit without it showing up on your credit. Okay, so people come and think about impact. Okay, it won't impact your credit. Then after that, once we pull that, we look in and see what your credit situation is from the credit perspective. Now, from what you said, I got people come in and say, I got a 700 credit score, I'm doing good, I pay all my bills, blah, blah, blah. And it's like 650. But not because they don't pay their bills, it's because they may have paid off everything. And so usually when you pay off all your debt, unfortunately your credit score goes down. And we explain that in the free report that I'm gonna give to any of your subscribers that want it. And then after that, then let's say you're good, okay? Then you set up an appointment immediately with the counselor for that time of your being on your schedule, okay? And then we call you back and we explain to you what we see. We ask you what you want, what you need, and how you need it, and everything like that. And then based on your credit, based on your financial situation, because you got to have income coming in some way, somehow, to pay it back. And then we'll direct you to something that's best for you. Let's say, for example, you're an internet marketing company, like you said, and you just need money to buy that bulk income or purses or wigs or whatever, right? and then but you don't have the money, but you got a little time to get it. You got a few days, and so we'll work with you to get that if you can qualify for it. Okay, if you qualify, and if you don't, we work out something to fix the things that are broken, okay, for you, okay, or to direct you to we have a marketplace of lenders and private investors that definitely love small businesses, and then we follow that process of where we can get you funding at if you're in a special situation, okay. So, but if you can't get it, and for certain reasons, then we direct you to our credit department or our business department to work on to invest in a program that will help you to get to where you want to be, so that from that, once you finish that program, anybody, not just us, will say yes to you. Okay.
Okay. That is absolutely great. So with the last question, and this is going to be a two-part question. One of the questions is going to be how the listeners can be able to find you. You can be able to share as to any projects that you have upcoming, such as upcoming appearances, and also how they can be able to find you, and then also you can be able to share your social media platforms so the audience can be able to follow you after the show.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Well, the listeners can find me if they want information about what we do and schedule an appointment. They can text Fund Me, that's FUNDME, one word, Fund Me, to 26786. Just Fund Me to 26786, and then you get the application and you get a scheduler, and you can also leave your email for the free credit information report that I have out, and the business capital information. And I have a book coming out, like I said, Crush Your BS, okay? So crush knowledge, responsibility, understanding, and success, your BS, which is business success. Okay, not the other BS. But and that's coming out in November, and you can, if you want pre-order, you can pre-order. Just text Fund Me at 26786, and just says I want a pre-order copy. But all your listeners that come in that text Fund Me at 26786 today will get a copy of one of the chapters on credit, because that seems to be the main thing that stops people in their tracks. So I'll send you a link to the Credit University, and but you get using my counseling sessions are $80 an hour, but you'll get a free 30-minute counseling session if you log in today, and you can ask any question that you want and that you need answered.
Oh, wow.
And okay. So, but that's only for the first 10 people. I can't give away too much money. So it's not a government grant here.
Okay. Okay. You will be able to handle the calls.
Then I'll be asking for money. I'll be like,
Okay, so are there any upcoming Zoom presentations that you may have that's coming up, or any workshops that you have to offer?
Well, the schedule hasn't come out, but what you can do if you just leave me, if you put your email and you just text Fund Me 26786 and leave your email, then I'll leave you. I'll put you on the roster. But you can look on 133approvefunding.com, and that's the web page. You can see everything that's coming up, and you can also there's also going to be you can also look for me on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You just look for 133 approved and 133 approved funding. Okay. And everything that's happening will be on those.
Okay, perfect. And then also for our YouTube subscribers on Women Who Rock with Success and Women Who Rock with Success Investigates, we're also going to be able to include that link at the bottom of the segment as well. Then you can be able to click on it and go straight to Mr. Roosevelt's page, and then that will kind of be able to help you as well. So thank you again for being our guest, because this is so important, especially during the pandemic, as to small businesses knowing how to cope with their finances and where they can be able to go and find funding and resources from your brand. So thank you again for being our guest on today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, perfect. So everyone, look for the video to be able to come out on YouTube, those that are subscribed. And then as well, you can be able to find his link there. So have a great day, Mr. Moore, and thank you for being with us on today.
You too. Thank you, Diane.